from the Pinellas County Schools Administration Building in Largo. This is PCS Journal with Ruechel.
Hi everybody, Ruechel here with this portion of the PCS Journal. Glad to have you with us in our audience. Thank you so much for attending and being here today. Dr. Valerie Brimm joins us right now, the Director of Strategic Partnerships. Dr. Brimm, good to see you again.
Good morning.
Didn't I just talk to you a couple of weeks ago?
Not quite, but we've had several conversations.
Okay. Now, first of all, let's talk about what your job is. What's your job title?
Okay, my job title is I'm the Director of the Office of Strategic Partnerships, and that role includes all of our volunteer mentoring programs in our district, the community partnerships across the communities in our district. We work with family engagement. Mm-hmm. We also do our parent advocate program, 5,000 role models. We're working with our girlfriend programs. We're working with a lot of our programs that connect to the corporate sponsors to support our schools. So it just, across the board we do.
Let's talk about the mentoring piece about it, because I was involved in that many, many years ago, and had some great relationships with some kids at one of the schools that's now closed down simply because they combined a couple other schools together. How important is mentoring, and what does it provide with these students that you really can't get necessarily in the classroom or with your teacher?
Mentoring is super important, and of course the data talks about how it increased the graduation rate, but primarily we're pairing students with another caring adult, and that is very meaningful with the student because it provides the student an opportunity to share, the mentor to become that caring adult where it benefits their life, because it gives them an opportunity to share their experiences, to support the students academically, to support the students socially. So we're really pushing to pair our students across this district with a caring adult.
And the reality of life in America today is that some kids grow up in homes either living with their aunts and uncles or their grandparents. Some of them have no male role models or otherwise.
That's correct. And also with, economically difficult times, a lot of our parents have double jobs.
Yeah.
And so we do need that outside support.
And let's talk about this before we talk more about what you specifically do.
Okay.
There is this notion that sometimes when we know that sometimes the reasons aren't kids successful in school is because of the parental involvement or lack of it there at home. It's easy to just pass judgment and say, well, it's all the parents' fault. We kind of give up on the kid and now we move on. But you can't afford to do that, can you?
No, we cannot afford to do that. And I think as we look at family engagement differently than we've done in the past with the face-to-face, a lot of our parents that we might not see on our school sites are definitely engaged. They're very aware of their students' academic performance, some of the curriculum components. So when we do home visits and when we talk to families, they are fully aware. What we're working on now is making sure that when we do have our family engagement events, that they're more result-oriented. They're more connected to our core learning components.
Oh, okay.
That is just not an event, but the event is coupled with learning initiative components that we can maximize their time.
Now, how do you make sure that it's a positive experience without somebody, because sometimes they go, help me, well, what? I'm not doing anything wrong, and I take offense to that, or do sometimes parents do that when you offer your help?
And I think it's all in the presentation. And so when you look at across the district where our curriculum is steady changing, and when you offer parents an opportunity to view it differently than what we did when we were younger in school, or how society has changed and how we need to kind of make sure our families are on board with cutting edge strategies. And so when you present it differently, it's not accusatory in
Right, not judgmental at all.
Yes.
So what's the difference between the mentoring and the 5,000 role models? Are those different programs?
Okay, no, they're the same program, but the 5,000 role model program is a program for males. It started out for African American males, but we've opened it and broadened that scope for all males. But it's a mentoring program to make sure those students are a lot more successful because it's known that some of our girls are, perform a lot better.
Yeah, and when you have these family engagement district-wide, these events, what are these events?
Okay, say for example, on October 10th and February the 6th, we're going to be providing a Parent Academy, where we're going to be offering a slew of workshops so parents will be able to attend.
You know, I did one of those about 15 years ago.
Oh, no.
I don't remember what the topic was, but
The other things is we do offer academies within our schools, different topics that our parents are interested in. Again, we offer dealing with math, science, literacy, personal development, financial literacy for our parents. So we do offer workshops across the district to support our families.
now let me ask this, and please, I'm gonna hedge my question when I ask this because I don't want it to sound weird. Do you have to treat parents who are economically deprived different than parents that might be a little bit better off?
I would say not necessarily treat different, but the information and the delivery of the information might be delivered a little different.
Because they have different circumstances
And
they
they
face.
have different circumstances, they have different needs, things that are afforded to more affluent middle-class parents may not be for poverty parents, but we still have to come up with a way that the information is given to the parents.
No, I've heard this from a wonderful lady that I met in South St. Petersburg. She said, this is her quote, she said to me, "Poverty is no excuse for failure."
It's not an excuse.
Right, and it's easy to back off and say, well, in these poor neighborhoods, it's kind of their problem, when in reality, it's all of our problems.
It is all of our problems. And when we talk about the poverty piece, when you think about it, all of us have come from some level of poverty.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just that mindset of making sure we are aware, knowledgeable, and how to support those students and those families.
Now, you're the director of your department. How many other people do you actually engage to go out and do all of these other things? Because obviously, with 130-some schools, even you can't do it all.
Well, we pair up with corporate sponsors, like, for example, with Raymond James has partnered with us to produce what we call Lunch Pals. And they are actually going to other corporate sponsors to help us recruit mentors to go into our schools. So we are really excited about that piece this year, that we're tapping into our corporate sponsors for the mentoring component piece.
Now, you know, anytime, and you talk about education ease, there's always like data, show me that it works. How do you know these things work, and then how do you measure them, and how do you measure relationship building? Last time I looked, there's no scale to figure that out.
And that is a huge question, but what we look at as baseline data is the student attendance, their academic grades, and also their social behavior component. So when we gather that as a baseline, and once we match those students or we provide additional resource, we monitor those pieces as the student grow and as that relationship develop, and we're looking to see if there's improvement in those areas.
Now, how long does the mentoring last? Because I have known mentors that have mentored kids for 7, 8, 9 years.
Oh yes, we've had mentors that have come in at elementary and now they're still with their students through the college level.
Oh gosh.
So it can last a lifetime, but we usually require that they meet with their mentee at least once a week.
Boy, that's a commitment, isn't it?
It is a commitment, and at least 30 to 45 minutes, or during their lunch period.
Now, how do you identify the kids that qualify for having mentors?
We work with the school, and they look at, sometimes the parents request a mentor, or the teacher will request, or even the guidance counselor will look at certain indicators to offer a mentor to the student.
If somebody's watching this right now and they say, hey, I want to be a mentor, but number one, I don't know what's required of me, and number two, do I get any training so that I do know what to say when I get with a child?
Yes, they can always call our office directly, and we offer mentor training throughout the district pretty much monthly. And if there are 10 or more interested applicants, we will actually come to the site and do the training.
Oh, that's great. Now, is it more heavily men or women that are mentors, or is it both?
It's both, but we primarily have more female than we do males.
Now, there's been a lot lately about the 5 underperforming schools in Pinellas County.
Yes.
What have you done specifically to work with those 5 schools that have had really a rough time?
One of the things is that we partner with Juvenile Welfare Board,
Okay.
and they have provided what we call family navigators and mental health specialists. And the family navigators, they are in charge of actually supporting the families to get them out of crisis mode. Because oftentimes when you're in a crisis, it's hard to focus on academics. It's
you got
hard
that
to
right.
really to work with our schools. So those navigators are really working with our families to keep them stable so that we can focus on academics. Our mental health specialists are working with our families in our homes. They are working with the students in the schools. We provided social workers in those schools. We've done home visits. We've actually set up monthly meetings for parents. We've connected them to like recognition programs. Again, going back to the academic, the literacy piece, the math piece. So we're steady working on how we can get those community engagement components.
So this notion that's been floating around that you're not doing enough for those 5 schools, you say baloney?
Oh, I think we're doing a lot.
Yeah,
I think we can always improve, areas of improvement, but I do think that in those areas we are working extremely hard.
This is the world of apps. I won't show you how many apps I have on my phone because it's far too many. You've got an app that's going to help people get connected to the school district. Tell me about it.
Yes. Okay, so last year we implemented what we call the PCS Family Engagement App.
Family Engagement App. Write that down, folks.
Because what we found out is that regardless of your economic status, you have a cell phone.
Right.
And so with the cell phone, you have right in hand, you can get a hold of any school. You can download the standards, Florida standards that are the requirements for all of our students. You can connect directly to Portal to have a closer look at what your child is doing during the day. We have learning
Now,
support.
wait, Portal, now tell me what that is, that part?
Okay, Portal is where a parent can log in and actually see their students' everyday activities, their performance. Teachers are uploading their grades, so they have a direct link as to how their students are performing.
And that's a secure site, too. We want to point that out right now.
Yes.
But you can watch what's going on.
Yes.
Will it tell you that if the child came in and said, hey, the dog ate my homework?
Well, I wish, but not quite. But the
I had
other
a cat
piece,
who ate my homework one time. Actually, didn't eat it. He went to the bathroom on it. But anyway.
the other most important piece is we have learning supports pieces.
Okay.
That they can connect to Khan Academy, beyond the classroom. We have all of our learning supports that parents can get additional information and how to support their child at home.
Well, that's wonderful. Dr. Brimm, I always enjoy talking to you. Will you come back again next time very soon?
You.
Dr. Valerie Brimm, the Director of Strategic Partnerships in Pinellas County Schools. Good talking to you.
Thank you. Good to talk.
And we'll be back with more of our program right after this. Stay with us.